They don't know what to think. And I think I have a theory for this. I'm a musician, I'm an artist. I was never part of a tribe. I reject authority. If somebody says, look, you have to believe this because I'm saying so, I'm already looking for ways to see if that's true, to kind of poke holes in the theories and stuff. Over the years, I think I've put together something of a cohesive reality. The thing is, I'm open to being wrong about these things, and that's what makes me a better philosopher, clearly, than most people can handle out there. They can't be wrong. They don't understand not having a perfectly cohesive, all-knowing worldview. Clearly, nobody knows what's going on. Like, that's step one. So, over the years, I've put together some ideas about what makes something a good explanation. This week, and I'm going to continue doing videos every day talking about this. I hope there's people out there that find this useful. I'm desperate to find people out there who want to get to the truth of the world and want to start a new movement and wake people up. It's very dangerous. Oh, that's another point I want to make first. Like, a lot of people don't think philosophy is important. Or and clearly, like most of the world, your average person off the street thinks, oh, the meaning of the universe, they roll their eyes, they don't want to discuss it. It's a lot of hard work. What I'm realizing is most people have delegated that hard work to other people, other leaders, other authority figures, other tribes, other cults. So this is what we keep doing wrong. And this is what we're doing wrong. We need to think for ourselves. We need to understand reality irregardless of some authority. So a lot of scientists in America say oh, so-and-so at Harvard proved this and that. Well, fine, but the proof of that should be able to put together in anybody's head. You don't need certification to have something right. You want to be able to get other people to hear the truth. So, my rule number one, rules towards truth, I'm calling this, rules towards truth. This is going to be these are guidelines, okay? So this isn't I'm not going to say there's no exceptions to this or anything, but this is going to be a good guide to get to the truth when we have two movies, as Scott Adams says. There is so much confusion out there right now. I'm seeing on YouTube. I love watching content online. This explosion of the ubiquitous nature of online media, online content, people doing their own journalism, their own philosophy. It's amazing. It's entertaining. It's informing. It's better than the legacy media, which is essentially an arm of the different governments around the world at this point. I mean, right? Is anyone disagreeing with that? It's sort of frustrating when people don't see it. So, anyway, here's the thing. There's a lot of mistrust happening as people have the carpet kind of pulled out from under them. So, my rule number one, rules towards truth, I'm calling this, rules towards truth. This is going to be these are guidelines, okay? So this isn't I'm not going to say there's no exceptions to this or anything. So good explanations can't be arbitrarily changed.
Explanations can't be arbitrarily changed. So they used to think all matter and all chemical matter in this world came from air, earth, fire, and water. Those were the main elements. Air, earth, fire, and water made everything. That was their explanation, the Greeks. And it was a good guess for what they had to work with, for what they knew. Now, for example, we know that water itself is made of different chemicals. So that can be divided up. They thought that was like a foundational element, right? They didn't understand the mechanism. So the explanation could be changed. They could have said it was like air, earth, fire, and gold. They could have said those were the elements, or they could have had 6. So you can change the explanation without getting a better explanation. And this is David Deutsch's work. He's kind of laid this out. But a good explanation is specific and it can't be changed. Now that we know there's particles and quantum particles, the explanation you can't change. The electron atomic theory of chemistry, you can't change it without changing its explanatory power. So as it sits right now, you could go to that theory and you could mix, let's say, sodium thiosulfate with and hydrochloric acid, right? You get actually colloidal sulfur and water. So you can actually do the equation, see what's going to happen, do the experiment, and get exactly what you thought you would. Or again, just boil water. Number 2, it answers why, not just what. So I want to find answers. I'm going to prefer answers that that answer why, not just what. I don't want to know what something is. I want to know why, the mechanism underlying it. There's a lot of flat earth talk out there right now. They never give me a mechanism. It's like, oh, someone just put it there. One event, that's just saying what, like something happened. I want to know why. And usually why, by the way, is like a history or an evolutionary history. So flat earthers don't give me the process by which some being came here and created this universe. And is it making more worlds? Are we the only world? There's so many questions and so many reasons you just can't have access to with that kind of explanation. Number 3, truth has a history. So a good explanation, a good answer for something is we're going to be able to see the history. It's going to be some kind of evolutionary history. So if a city really exists, if you say Egypt exists right now, then we can go and see the history. Look where you don't want to look. Lovecraft, Poe, there's something we're drawn to, the weird, the macabre, the bizarre, the strange, the sort of not repulsive, but what's the word? The grotesque. And I've always been drawn to it too. I don't know. It's an artistic sense thing, but it's also a philosophy thing. Like I go worst case scenario. Doing philosophy, I think that actually can help us. I think too often people go best case scenario. That's like what everybody keeps doing, and it's just getting us to bad answers. So we got to look at the weird Lovecraftian. We got to be open to things just being super bizarre, even hostile or dark, just super dark and like terrible. The Schopenhauer kind of view. Now, look, I'm optimistic. I ultimately think human beings, and I think I can prove human beings can solve any problem they want. We have a glorious future ahead of us, but it hasn't started yet. We're obsessed with authority. We haven't thought through our primate evolution yet, in my opinion. Okay, so number 4 is that we want to prefer elegance, simplicity. Less exceptions makes a better explanation. How are we going to prove something's true? If we have 2 movies, to use Scott Adams' phrase, which I think is funny because I think even he's admitting like he's stuck in a movie. I think both sides of the partisan politics are right now. We look for evidence to see which movie is correct or if none of the movies are correct. Here's what you do. Evidence is simply when you predict a surprising result and it confirms your theory against other ideas. So again, you want to find a surprising result and go prove your theory, and that's what it's going to be. So example, if you were a flat earther, you'd really want to find evidence of the edge of the earth and say, look, if my prediction is true, we go here to this place in Antarctica and we're going to see that it goes on forever or something like that. And then you have to go show that. And everybody would be surprised and then say, oh, okay, well, that now I'm really like going towards your theory here because that's totally different than what I expected. So when Einstein proved general relativity, the proof was he did all the math. He understood how reality worked. It was a subtle difference from Newton's, although very profound difference than Newton's universe and reality. And the way he proved these things, that light and matter are the same, that light is affected by gravity, all these things, was by showing a planet passing behind the sun, and at a certain point, it would be affected by the sun's gravity or the star's gravity. I can't remember exactly what they used, but it was the first time this kind of experiment had been done. It was very high tech at the time. The war was starting, so the authoritarian primates were getting out of control, trying to stop progress. But Einstein managed to get that done with a team of people, and they actually saw it. Nope, yep, there it is, just like you said. Now we know that's the better theory. You see, because it was a surprise, and because now the explanation, now you know his explanation is more correct because he was able to predict something unexpected. That's what evidence is. So evidence is not like a negative. It's not disproving someone else's point.